Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to talk about which is cheaper, Vietnam or Thailand. More specifically, Ho Chi Minh City or Bangkok. So we're going to compare the two. I'm going to talk about these two places based on my experience living in both places for 2 years. I've lived in Bangkok for 2 years now, and I've also lived in Ho Chi Minh City for 2 years. So I'm going to compare my experience with both and let you guys know what I think is the cheaper option. Without further ado, let's get into it. The first one I want to talk about is Vietnam, or more specifically Ho Chi Minh City. I think generally, right off the bat, I'm going to say that Ho Chi Minh City is going to be cheaper than Bangkok. Generally, especially with daily expenses. Both have cheap options. Bangkok has, local Thai food for $1 or $2. The same with Ho Chi Minh City also has cheap Vietnamese food for $1 or $2. Both cities have a wider range of options. Your daily expenses for food is going to be fairly cheap in Vietnam. And also, if you're a coffee drinker, if you like to go to cafes a lot, I would recommend Vietnam hands down, because Vietnam produces its own coffee. They have their own local coffee, so overall it's going to be cheaper, especially for coffee, than it is here in Bangkok. I can tell you from living in Bangkok, going to a cafe is not really cheap. So the coffee here on average, I would say costs around 100 baht. And 100 baht is about $3. In Ho Chi Minh City, the coffee there will cost around $1. Or maybe even less, depending on where or which cafe you go to. But generally, I'm going to say your daily expenses is going to be lower, much lower in Ho Chi Minh City. The one thing that I also find that is significantly cheaper in Ho Chi Minh City than in Bangkok is the nightlife. The nightlife in Ho Chi Minh City, even though I would say in terms of quality is not on par with Bangkok, the nightlife in Ho Chi Minh City I think is overall cheaper. Well, first of all, there's more variety of beer and drinks in Ho Chi Minh City. So if you're a beer drinker, you're definitely gonna like Ho Chi Minh City a lot more. A lot of microbrewers there that produce their own beer. A lot of cool places to go to check out if you like chill bars and good beer. Ho Chi Minh City is definitely the place for you. There's just a wide range, a wide variety of cheap beer. Beer generally costs around $1 or $2, and especially if you live in Hanoi, it's even less than that. I found that the street side beer with the little kegs, the local beer that's produced, is around like 4,000 or 5,000 dong, maybe even 7,000 dong at the most. But roughly that translates, from the last time I checked, that roughly translates to like 6 baht for a beer. That's like the cheapest beer I've ever had. So I've had like 3 beers for like a quarter for 25 cents. I don't think I've ever had beer that cheap anywhere else. If you know cheaper beer anywhere else, let me know in the comment section below. I definitely would be glad to hear. So yeah, overall I would say the nightlife is cheaper in Ho Chi Minh City. Even I went to quite a few rooftop bars, and at that time I found like the most expensive beers like around like $5. So it is pretty cheap. I mean, like $5 is like the average cost of the lowest beer back in a college town in America, from my college town, for example. Here in Bangkok, just to compare the cost, on average I would say a beer costs around 100 baht, the local beer. 100 baht's $3. If it is something that is not local, it's gonna cost double. The microbrewer scene here too is really expensive, and the rooftop bars, I don't even go to those. Those are really expensive. You could easily spend on the nightlife here on drinks on average anywhere from, just for one drink, by the way, anywhere from $3 to $10, and even more than that depending on where you go in Bangkok. It can get pretty posh, and there's definitely plenty of places to spend a good amount of your drinking money at here in Bangkok. So overall, I would say the nightlife is more expensive, but in terms of quality, I would have to give it to Bangkok, hands down. Is definitely, I think, a better nightlife experience here in Bangkok than it is in Ho Chi Minh City. And particularly the main reason is because there's more variety, and then also the places, they stay open late. There's plenty of more places that stay open late here that I found. In Ho Chi Minh City, a lot of the places will close down around midnight, and a lot of people will go back around that time or before then. So I think people are more keen to nightlife here in Bangkok. Now, the major cost in both cities tends to be the rent cost. The cost of renting an apartment or a condo here in Bangkok or Ho Chi Minh City. So I'm gonna say that you have a wide range of options in Ho Chi Minh City. If you rent a condo in Ho Chi Minh City, especially one that has a major brand, let me give you an example, like Vin Homes is a major brand and it's a major name in condos in Ho Chi Minh City. If you rent a condo in a complex like this, it's going to be a lot higher than a standard apartment, like a standard service apartment. A service apartment's going to run a lot cheaper. The branded ones, I would say like the Vin Homes, the cheapest one I've seen is around, I would say $650 a month on the low end. Remember, there's always room for negotiation in Vietnam. I think you can negotiate a lot more in Vietnam than you can in Bangkok. In Vietnam, I think you can really negotiate for a lot more off depending on who you negotiate with. There's just a lot more room for negotiation there, in my opinion. Especially if you go with a Vietnamese local, and that will help out a lot as well. If you rent a apartment or a room, it's gonna be cheaper generally in Vietnam. But I will say this, that the condos that you get in Bangkok or the places that you get to rent here, I think you get more bang for your buck here in Bangkok than you do in Ho Chi Minh City. There's a lot more options for nicer places to live in Bangkok, in my opinion, because there's a lot more infrastructure. There's a ton of condos that are being built here, and because there's a ton of condos being built here, there's more competition for them to be rented. So they have a high standard. For example, most condos have a gym, a small gym, a pool, swimming pool, and what else? Maybe a co-working space, or they have some other amenities. The most typical amenities that I would say almost every condo has here in Bangkok is going to be a swimming pool and a gym. So this is pretty standard. So it's very easy to find a cheap condo here with those things. But in Ho Chi Minh City, if you want a gym and a condo, it's typically going to be with the more expensive condos, the branded condos. So you're going to be spending more money for those things. So let me give you an example. I lived at this loft apartment that was from a brand called M Condo, and that was about $550 a month. I think if you rented like just a normal apartment, it probably would have costed maybe $450 or maybe $400 at the lowest a month. And this was in District 7. So District 7's a little bit further away from the downtown. And that was just to get the gym and the pool, right? Here in Bangkok, you can get, the cheapest condo that I've gotten was around $330 a month. And nowadays with the COVID prices, you can easily get something for around $300 on average, or even less than that, like $280 on the really low end. And with the cheapest condo that I've gotten here, I had like 3 pools, 2 gyms, a park, all these amenities. Keep in mind, this wasn't like the common condo. I think they really had to put all these features in the condo to make it more alluring for people to live in this place, because it's a little bit on the outskirts of the city, but it was right next to the BTS, the public transportation. So it was just a 5-minute walk to that. So you can easily get into the city, the downtown area, within like 20 to 30 minutes. So it's pretty convenient, but in local perspective, they say it tends to be a bit farther. So they had to put all these features into this cheap condo. But I'm just telling you about this because I'm just letting you know that you can get something for $300 but have a pool and a gym here. And even in the downtown area, for the price that I was paying in Ho Chi Minh City, you can get something quite nice here in Bangkok. So I think in terms of bang for your buck, best value for apartments and condos, I think Bangkok wins. And I think in general, I don't think Bangkok is matched by any other place in terms of best bang for your buck for condos. Let me know in the comment section below if you know of a place that has better value for condos or places to live with more amenities than Bangkok. Let me know in the comment section below. The next thing I want to say is transportation. So I would say that the transportation, the way to get around in both places are pretty different. There's not really a public transportation in Ho Chi Minh City. So the main way of getting around is motorbike, or if you don't drive a motorbike, there's Grab taxis, and then even the bus. So the bus is going to be the cheapest option. Taxi and Grab is going to be the more expensive option. But I would say that with Bangkok, even though it has public transportation, the BTS is pretty expensive in terms of public transportation. And I believe that's because that it is privately owned. Yeah, in terms of public transportation, the BTS is quite expensive. And depending on your daily commute, it can add up fairly easily. Also, in terms of food, with Bangkok, you have cheap options with Bangkok and Ho Chi Minh City. But I would say that in terms of food, I think the variety of food here in Bangkok's better. It seems like it's a bit more international with food, and the quality of the food tastes, I think in my opinion, it's better. I've gotten sick or food poisoning a lot more times in Ho Chi Minh City than I've had in Bangkok. Actually, I don't even know if I've gotten food poisoning in Bangkok, maybe once. But in Ho Chi Minh City, I can distinctly remember several times getting food poisoning. So I think in terms of the quality, probably you'll find that the quality is a bit better in Bangkok for food and that there's more variety. Let me know in the comment section below if you disagree. Feel free to disagree with this. This is just my experience. Let's sum this up. Which one, based on these things, is going to be cheaper? Well, I think overall or generally, I'm going to have to give it to Ho Chi Minh City. I think it's going to be a bit cheaper. Because I think you can get, even though you don't get the same quality in terms of like living place, condo or apartment, you can get the better deal with more amenities here in Bangkok. But you know, you can still get a cheap accommodation in Ho Chi Minh City. But the daily expenses is, I think, what makes the difference. So yeah, the food is about the same. But you know, if you're into doing other activities, you know, going to cafes, doing other social activities, you know, drinking, especially nightlife, it's going to be definitely cheaper in Ho Chi Minh City. Overall, I'm going to have to give it to Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam being the cheaper option. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comment section below. What do you think? Do you think Bangkok or Ho Chi Minh City is the cheaper option? Everyone has a different experience, so I believe that there's not one right answer for this. So if you disagree, keep it constructive. There's not going to be, in my opinion, I don't think there's one right answer for this question, but I think that most people, from what I've heard and read, they find that Vietnam is generally cheaper. Well, Ho Chi Minh City, to be specific, is generally cheaper than Bangkok. So feel free to agree or disagree in the comment section below. Let us know, what do you think, your opinions. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Give the video a like, click notifications for more videos like this. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.